Well, welcome to the Coach's Corner. Hi, I'm Frank Barbahan, and I will be your discipleship coach for this week. We're going to be discussing a series on what is the kingdom of God, and this is part one. Believe it or not, Jesus and John the Baptist both wrestled with what is the kingdom of God. Let's take Jesus first. After John baptized Jesus, Jesus went out into the wilderness for over a month. And we're told that Jesus was taken to a mountaintop, at least in his imagination, if not for real, and Satan had offered him the geopolitical kingdoms that were wrapped around him. Now, at that time, Rome was dominant. It had a massive empire, and Rome had conquered the Jews, and the Jews were subjects of the Roman Empire. Jesus, during that month or so, debated on whether or not to become a geopolitical power and incite a revolution. The times were ripe for a revolution. The Jews were being ground under Roman rule, and they were being subjugated to what they called the imperial tax, was very, very burdensome. So the times were right, and Jesus knew that he would be able to help incite an insurrection, and he chose not to. Now, John the Baptist considered the greatest Old Testament prophet because he's the one who had the vision that Jesus of Nazareth was the Messiah, and that he ended up baptizing Jesus before Jesus went out into the desert to wrestle with his mission. And John shut off his mouth about the king having an illicit relationship with his new wife and found himself in prison. Now, John's in prison, and he wonders why it is that Jesus isn't rescuing him. So obviously, John was thinking that Jesus was going to be a geopolitical force, that Jesus was going to overthrow the Romans and set them free and set up this geopolitical kingdom, because John, in his anxiety, ends up sending a messenger to Jesus asking, "So, even though I baptized you, are you really the one? Because I'm stuck in prison." And Jesus responds, tell John that Isaiah is being fulfilled. So the blind receive their sight, the lame are walking, the dead rise up again, and the poor are being ministered to. And Jesus says, content or blessed is the man who doesn't take offense at that game plan. And John the Baptist gets beheaded. So it raises the question for us, what is the kingdom of God? Jesus wrestled with it himself, and John the Baptist thought it was going to be a political empire. All right, if you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to email me at frank@peakperformancediscipleship.com, frank@peakperformancediscipleship.com, or blog me on the Coach's Corner, and we'll see you next time.